Well, we're making about 3 knots over ground and 5.5 knots of wind.
I think there's a big current.
We're fully canvassed. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if the current's pushing us or if we're just good sailors, as Jenny put it. So we're chasing down Mig. We just left Santa Barbara. We're heading to Santa Cruz Island. And yeah, they're about maybe 3 nautical miles ahead of us. So
It doesn't say how fast they're going, huh?
I can get their speed over ground, I guess. 3.6 knots.
Okay,
That's
same as
what
us.
it says there. Yeah. Yeah, we might end up catching them. About the time we both hit the same cove.
One of the few times we don't have the droning of the motors in the background.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking of drone, I think I could actually fly in this weather. This is so beautiful. Hardly any wind, though. I wish we had a little bit more breeze, but careful what you wish for. We got dolphins. They're coming right at us. Check it. And they're gone. Oh, here he is. I don't know what happened. I don't know where he went. There he is. Too cool. It's blowing 40 knots. We maxed out at 42 and it's sustained 35 right now. And we're fingers crossed stuck good so far. But all the boats around us are on anchor watch. The Peace boat, there's a dive boat out here. He picked up and GTFO'd. And it looked like another couple of boats came in the middle of the night. We got one up here ahead of us, just off to starboard. And then there's another big commercial boat that picked up with the Peace and took off. So we're swinging around. We're dancing a current, or a course here. You can see us swinging all over the place. But I think we're stuck in the ground. I think the best thing to do is just don't do anything unless something happens. Because, I don't know. This guy, I can see him out on his bow. Topher, I think, is out walking the deck doing an anchor check. Everybody's got their lights on. So we're going to stick to it. But it's just, I mean, it's screaming down the mountain right now. It's just coming over the hill and just plowing into us. So I read that Forneys can be bad if you, if you get those Santa Anas coming across in the middle of the night. And it says he says sometimes they build and then you get that downslope effect. So it's windy. It's 12:49 a.m. right now.
Do you have enough chain out?
I've got 150 out. I can't put any more out unless I haul up the bridle a little bit. But
Are we good? Are we off? We're on the bridle, right?
I didn't even walk up forward to check anything.
Okay.
I heard it grinding on the bobstay is why I woke up.
Yeah. So does that mean that we aren't on the bridle, or
we're just swinging around too much? It's gonna be a long night.
It's gonna be a long night. It was a long day.
Yeah, it was lumpy as hell this morning. It wasn't bad coming over, and then we lost the wind, and the waves were
huge.
Christ, 12 feet at like 6 seconds. They were literally like one boat length between wave crests.
They're huge.
All right, we're on anchor watch. We're gonna hit 44, and it's still sustained in the 30s. We got the engine running. Chitty's outside. We got the iPad on with the navigator with our track. And so far you can see there's a little bit of dragging. We dragged about 60 feet and then the anchor reset. And we got a little hailing from SV MiG. They're out here bobbing around on anchor. they hailed us and said it looked like we were awfully close to them.
And we are.
And we are.
But
Yeah.
we don't want to pick up our anchor.
No, we moved. I don't.
Right.
If we pull our ground tackle now, we're gonna be screwed. There ain't nowhere to go.
Yeah.
So we're gonna sit here and ride it out.
It's 4:55 in the morning.
Sun's up in about an hour and a half.
Not that that will be better.
No, but at least you can see the waves when we're steering. You know, I don't want to just go out to sea blindly in this kind of chop and swell. The cat is miserable.
Yeah, she's okay. She doesn't like the engine on.
Yeah, there you go.
I think we should put our foul weather gear on. Well, I want my foulies.
Okay, I'll stay up here. You go get dressed. I'll watch her. Good job, sailor.
We did not sail. We motored.
That was some scary shit.
Yeah. So we left Forney, 40 knot winds, sustained.
Dragging slowly.
We were dragging slowly, anchor dragging, into SV MiG. So there's just no way to reset the anchor. So we left. It was, what time was that?
How long have we been motoring?
It was like 5 o'clock this morning. So we left the cove and the wind was howling. The waves were huge. I'm covered in salt. Everything is salty. This is soaked. Got water down my shirt. And then we were going to just continue down the island. But
She was ready to head to Ventura.
yeah, I'm like, well, that's it. We're done.
We're done with the Channel Islands.
But then we saw this little cove here. It's not an anchorage, but there are some fishing boats that are anchored. And the wind right over there is about 25 to sustained, gusting to probably 35 or 40. And right here, we're at 7 right now.
So we're right behind a big mountain.
Yeah. Yeah. So we thought we would come here, and we only motored for like an hour. Not even that, I don't think.
Just enough till the sun came up.
Yeah, we just kind of pulled in here just to get the sun.
We were just bearing on a lee shore and had to get out of there.
Every forecast that we had said nothing about this. Said no wind, basically. Like Tuesday, Wednesday, we're supposed to be flat, calm. Like we were thinking, oh yeah, we're gonna have to motor the whole way. So anyway.
Then we got Santa Ana's up to 45.
Yeah. So originally our plan was to go down to Coaches, I don't know how you say it, Cove, which is around this island, which all the wind's coming from the northeast right now. So I don't know if that's going to be a good option. It might be. We are tucked in on the west side, right?
Yeah.
On the west, like a little cove that is on the west side of the island. So all the wind's coming like that. So it was really scary. I mean, water was coming over. Like I said, I'm drenched. I mean, we dipped the rail for sure. The wind was on the beam. And then we got a little further out. There were some bigger swells coming. I couldn't see because it's just pitch black out. So this is a good option. I mean,
I just don't know what kind of ground we got. Whatever it is, we're stuck. We're stuck right now.
yeah,
Pretty good.
we started a track just to track ourselves. It's a really good option on Navionics. If you start a track, you can really see
how you're swinging.
How you're swinging, drift, and dragging. Because we were going back and forth just along a line. All of a sudden, the line just kept getting wider and wider and wider. So we had to get out of there. I can't believe how calm it is here.
Yeah, compared. This is like when we came around Point Conception, calm.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway.
We should probably call Meg and just tell them.
Yeah, we'll let them know. They're talking about going around the north side of the island. I think that's a bad idea to be between the wind and the shore. But
well, they're going to be protected on that. One's on the, as they go around the west side.
Yeah.
The wind will be, because there's some pretty big cliffs there. But once you round the corner, it's going to be on the nose. But they're just going to go to Ventura. They're going to skip the islands. Which sounds like a pretty, I got water down my sleeve. Yeah, everything is just crusted over now. It's too with salt.
I'm going to call Mig and let him know.
Oh yeah, rip our autopilot again.
Oh yeah, ain't that sweet. Yeah, that's right. The rudder position sensor.
When we got here this morning, the wind was supposed to continue from the east-northeast. Great. This is a great place for that. And by this afternoon, the forecast has changed, and now it's going to be coming from the northwest-northwest, which makes it a lee shore behind us. So and even though it's going to be the forecast is 5 knots of wind, but all the forecasts have been wrong every time. So I would say it's probably going to be 15 to 20 knots of wind and a lee shore. So we're going to get out of here. Topher is going to be cruising by us here in a little bit on SV MiG, and they were going to come here. They left Forney Cove. They just left, but they're going to go down to Coaches, I guess is what it's called. And so we're gonna bug out of here. It's about 2 hours if we motor, 2.5 maybe. We might be able to sail, but the wind is supposed to be coming from on that side of the island. The wind is directly from the east, so that's going to be dead into the wind. So we might just be motoring. They're going to be sailing because they have an electric motor, so they don't really use it for motoring anywhere. That's the plan.
The clear blue water was calling Rich, and he couldn't resist, so he decided to jump in and test out his new spearfishing equipment. He did pretty well, I'd say. He caught a calico and some scallops for dinner.
Scallop sashimi.
Sand.
A little sandy. All right. I guess let me hack down this calico and then we'll get undressed and pull the anchor.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I'll get undressed. You can keep it closed.
The trip over to Coaches Prietos was uneventful. We did have to hand steer, however, since our autopilot was broken.
Great.
Now where were we?
We are at Black Pig. Coaches Prietos. Prietos. On Santa Cruz Island, south side. It's about a 2-hour motor to get here. The wind was on the nose. It was a lot of wind. We had like 18 knots of wind, but I guess we could have taken our time. We didn't leave until 1. It's already 3. We didn't want to get here when it was dark. I'm glad we did because it would be really deceiving. It's deceiving in the daytime how close these cliffs look. They look like we're going to hit them under. It's got this handy little rangefinder. And those cliffs are 270 meters. These really close ones are 151 meters.
It looks closer.
Yeah, so it's like 400 feet.
Yeah. What about this one over here?
That's only 112 meters. That's 300 feet.
Yeah. And we got 150 each chain. Nice little sandy beach.
So we've gotten a couple of questions about the headsets that we've been wearing in some of our videos, and we got them from Cruising Solutions. You can get them on Amazon though, I think. They're Sena, Sena, S-E-N-A, and they're just 2-way headsets. They're great though. I mean, you turn them on, you can just call the other headset, and they automatically link together. And they've just been a game changer with everything we've been doing. So we've used them for a long time, just anchoring or docking. And then we also use them when we were getting diesel, because one of us has to be down here to see how much diesel we're putting in so we don't have to fill the tank, and the other one's outside. Last night we had that really, really crazy weather, really 44 knot winds and big swells and choppy waves.
Dragging.
And our anchor was dragging, so we had to get out, and it was pretty scary. And without these, I would not have been able to hear anything he was telling me. So there was a lot of weight. The chain is on the bobstay. We have to go forward. We have to go port to starboard and all of that. And I couldn't really see him. It was of course, it was pitch black out. It was like 4 o'clock in the morning or 4:30 in the morning.
Spray.
And there's spray everywhere. And it's loud because all the wind, 44 knots, it's really loud. So these have just been, this is one of the best things we bought, I think.
Game changer.
So, yeah. So anyway, that's what these are. If anybody wants to know.
Little
Not
Bluetooth.
sponsored.
Yeah. Yeah, we pay retail.
We paid retail. Paid retail for this too. This is just a golf rangefinder.
From Amazon.
Yeah, you can get your binoculars with a rangefinder in them,
Which is handy.
Yeah. And I was asking Rich, hey, do you want to get the one with the rangefinder or do you want to get the one without? And the one with the rangefinder was like a couple $100 more. He's like, we don't need that. Well, then we ended up spending $100 on this thing anyway, so whatever. That's fine. So excited.
Take a bite, take a bite.
I've got the perfect place in mind. We've got an hour or so to hide. Montenegro, love of mine. Just one more bed. Let's find a brook or stream, my friend. Who cares if we're a little late again?
We spent 5 peaceful days in Coaches Cove, and we got our autopilot fixed. Luckily, it wasn't damaged.
All right, this is the first time we've set foot on land in a few days.
Since
Like 5 days.
Monday. Today's Friday.
Yeah. So we noticed all this crap that's like little globules when we were in Santa Barbara, little globules stuck to the boat, the dinghy and the hull, the side of the boat. And now here's a ball of the black stuff washed up on the beach.
Yes, our boat is the one that's sitting different than everybody.
So we had a stern anchor out, and then we decided we'd pull it and swing into the swell, and it actually has kind of worked out well. Now we're bobbing fore and aft instead of side to side.
We just left Coaches Creatives this morning. The swell started coming in pretty heavily, and the wind had shifted and was more from the east, southeast, which is right into the cove. So it was kind of a lee shore, and it was picking up a little bit. And it was we have a rangefinder, and it was the closest we had been to the little reef that's right there in the rocks. And when we actually picked up our anchor, we were only about 100 feet away. So it was time to go. There was a Hans Christian in there. Thanksgiving, I guess. Thursday, this is Saturday, so for a couple nights. And they left right before we did. Anyway, so now we're out here. We motored for about an hour straight out, just to give the batteries a little bit of a charge. We were down about 70%. We're about 93 right now, batteries, and we have one solar panel that's pumping in some juice. So after about an hour, we decided let's put the sails up. It consisted of about 10 knots of wind, pretty much right in the direction we need to go. So we're sailing a little bit off, and then we'll just tack over later today. It's about 40 miles to Santa Barbara Island. So shortly, it's probably about 8 hours for us. 10 knots of wind. I think we're doing about 4.5 knots, 4.5 to 5 knots speed. So shortly before we get to Santa Barbara Island, we will tack east. And as long as the wind stays consistent, which it's actually predicted, I think, to die a little bit. So our plan originally was to leave at about 4 o'clock this afternoon from Coaches Cove, and the swell and the wind just got too hairy for us. It was pushing us too close to the rocks. We maybe could have tried to re-anchor, but we decided let's just go now. So we'll see what time that brings us into Catalina Harbor, because originally if we left at 4, we would get there like at 8 or 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. Now it's like 3 o'clock. So if the wind dies, we'll sail as long as we can, even if we're going like 2 or 3 knots. And that'll slow us down enough to get there in daylight. Because we're not going to anchor at night. We would probably just hang out and outside the harbor until we was light enough to see. We don't know who's anchored there. I've never been there. So anyway, but the waves are kind of off to the front a little bit, to the side. Not bad though. Now that we've kind of slowed down a little bit, we're sailing, it's so much more comfortable. Rachel is actually downstairs. She went down on her own. I brought her out here before we started the engine, and she just hates the noise so much. So she was sitting out here when we were doing the anchor and everything. And once we put the sails up and turn the engine off, she's like, "Oh, I'll just go downstairs." So that's nice. That's nice that she's comfortable down there. So this is what it looks like when we're sailing. It's quiet. Like I said, I have what my Fallies on. I'm not cold, but I'm not hot, so I'm keeping them on. It's going to be another overnight passage, so we're both kind of just hanging out. I don't know, I might go downstairs and I could probably take a nap. Most of the boat makes me sleepy, which is kind of nice.
Santa Cruz to Catalina. Santa Cruz Island to Catalina Island. It's a little rolly. It's not bad sailing.
It was worse motoring.
Yeah. The sails have put a good motion in the boat.
Next time on SVRO.
It's like glass out here. The moon is almost full and it's up. It looks pretty amazing.
It's a nice night for a moonlight sail.
The wind just kicked up. I kind of been keeping my eye on it, and it's been kind of going up to 8, going up to 9. Finally, I saw some 10s.
Got the whole harbor out here. This guy anchors up 20 feet off our bow.